Hey, hey everyone. So let's start. This Zoom call, this recording. The idea for this is to answer some of your question you asked before, and just to give you some time back. To thank you for being in this community, and let's start with the question about discipline. So the first question was actually how to have discipline to follow your plan and overall discipline. Okay, so first of all, this is a great question and I really like it. I really like the fact that it's not like, straight about how to enter something or whatsoever. So it tells me that the person that asked this, has already undergone some development, might be burned himself or herself in some situations. So that's a great question. And first of all, it's important to understand that there is no one single answer. Of course, it's really personal, and it will depend on the stage of your development as a trader. So, for example, for a beginner, a question of discipline can be just, to hold one more day without blowing all his account. And for a more developed trader, a question of discipline could be to follow his management rules more strictly, for example, or to follow his risk management rules. And again, the questions of discipline for a profitable person and unprofitable person are really, really different. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But if you want a starting point, then so first of all, how to follow your plan? Make sure you have a good plan in the first place. So maybe you have a mentorship or a mentor that shares at least his backtesting, at least his recaps of live trades, so you can see at least some proof that the system is working. And then of course you need to demo test it in different formats. So you start with simplified backtesting when you know the trend, then you make it a bit more complicated, then you do backtesting and you develop confidence in your plan, and then only then can you expect to have the ability to follow it, because having a plan and then actually following it is two different things. Now next question, think about the trigger that forces you to break the discipline. So for instance, if you were someone, just think for yourself, what triggers you to break the discipline. It could be many different things. For example, someone could miss this entry. Let's say it was his pattern. It was his pattern, and now the price is here. It's too late for him to enter, and he starts to FOMO in the market, maybe wanting to enter right here, but he knows that it's not his entry. So he becomes emotional and so on. Another trigger could be something from outside life. Another trigger could be just having a normal loss, and then when you have some list of triggers, think what you do specifically after you start your emotional trading, your breaking of discipline in the way that you do it. Okay, think about yourself personally, and what you do, what you feel, how it goes overall. Then think about what consequences you have during this time. So again, let's just quickly recap. So triggers, then actions, consequences, and then think how many times these actions, these emotional actions, actually led to good results. How many times it led to good results. And even if it led, did it all come down to zero and negative afterwards soon? Because even if you make profits, usually if you make it in emotional state, it will take from your emotional capital. And then then if you know that the answer is actually zero, 0 times it led to good results in long term, then you just use your logic to talk to yourself. You start to understand that it just does not make sense to do it this way, to do the same action and expecting different results. And then the last point, ask yourself how many days in a row did you manage to follow your plan? Did you manage to follow your plan? Usually for many people the answer will be like 1, 2, 3 days, maybe 5 days, and then they break the plan. Think about this. It's really big part of your trading. So then just start a small challenge. So if so for instance, if your answer to this question is 3 days, then you need to try to follow for 4 days, for 5 days. If you managed previously to follow for 5 days, now let's try to follow 10 days. Okay, and usually people see a real good improvement in stability of their results and so on. So this is my question. This is my answer to this question: how to stay disciplined. Again, it's really general, this question itself. So you need to be more specific. Again, there are so many things that will influence it. You need to understand it's like a huge part of trading, education, trading career, and trading life in general. So for instance, on discipline can be affected but by not so obvious things. Let's say someone is not feeling that he is doing enough. Ask your question, why you are breaking the rules. So usually why you are breaking the rules, usually people break the rules when they just want to get results faster, so it's usually not about that they are bad people or like not the disciplines at all. Sometimes you could be a great athlete or a great professional in other field of life, but you still break the rules in trading, and one of the reasons is that trading presents a really fast way to earn money, but of course fast way of losing them as well. And sometimes people just want to get results fast, and when they for instance have a trade on a relatively small account, they worked for a whole week, analyzed the market, waited patiently, and then they have this one trade which brings them like 4R, let's say 4R profit. But on a small account in money equivalent, it can be like $100, $500, so a small amount of money. And then in these moments you just need to realize how much you need, for instance, from one trade in your life to feel more or less comfortable from your winners. Let's say you want to have your average winner like $1,000. And then you know that your average winner is 4R. Okay, then calculate what account size you need to have so that your winner of 4R bring you 1K profit. So for instance, with a risk of 0.25%, then it should be 100K account, something like that. And suddenly your trade that feels so insignificant, now it will be high reza. Now it will bring you so much more profit, and it will feel so much enough of the work that you did. So really try to think, by the way, it will be recorded, Reza, so you will catch up the beginning. Try to think in money that you need to feel okay with the work that you've done for the trade. And then, because sometimes we think that if we will have a winner, we will feel good, but usually when you have a winner, then the price can go even higher, and now you are disappointed that you didn't make enough. But again, That's just a question of scalability. And then when you have this number, try to think in dollars, and then how much RR, risk to reward, it can be for one trade, and then what account size you need to have this. Okay, so this is a small thing to think about. And I would really recommend to read something like this, The Mental Game of Trading, really nice book. Then Trading in the Zone. And also I will share in the group this this mindset playlist. I really recommend it. It's like a compilation of my favorite videos on discipline, mindset, and so on. So make sure to check it out later. Okay, so yeah, and then my last recommendation for this is find your own solutions. Yeah, use ideas of other people, but then digest them and generate your own solutions to your questions. It's really, really important. Do not underestimate the ideas that you have, because actually your own ideas will give you real good answers. So you can just think deeply what you need, what are your triggers, what everything that we just talked about. Yeah. And by the way, coming back to following the plan, the second part of your question, make sure you are actually trading the plan and not the concepts, the general concepts. So imagine someone is like trading trend lines and then confluence of maybe break and retest and support and resistance or something like that. So usually what it will mean for many people is that they just know that there is this thing as a trend line, maybe break and retest, support and resistance, and they think already that they have a plan and they have the skill to execute this trading edge. But in reality, it's not. In reality, you need to go through backtesting and you need to have a specific checklist of your entry criteria, so how you enter, how you manage, and so on. So actually trading the concepts is much more deeper action than knowing them in general. Okay, and it will remain the same for any kind of strategy. So first you start with some theory, but then the practice should be much more deeper. So keep it in mind. Okay, so this was for the first question. And by the way, yeah. And second question is retaining profits. So this one is a bit easier in my opinion. So the question was sounding like how do I retain profits, But then I asked what is your usual risk management per trade? Yeah, risk per trade. And the person replied 5%. So maybe he or she got a mistake. I don't know, maybe it was 0.5, but the reply was 5. So this is first point. If you have 5% risk, really try to reduce it. I mean, I'm usually risking 0.15, 0.25. I would recommend 0.25, 0.5% risk actually. 1% risk is a huge risk, but 5% risk, I mean, any strategy that you have, even the best one, could have easily have a losing streak of 4 trades. It's just easy and natural. And then you lost 20% just like that. So this is a really important and obvious answer. Then if you want to retain profits, make sure you have a profitable system. So see what your mentor is doing, see your backtest results, and believe me, if your backtesting results, if you're oh, hi Tim, thanks Tim for sharing it. Yeah, it's like a really great book, so you can check the book in the chat. Thanks Tim. Okay, so yeah, coming back to the question, make sure you are actually having a good system, profitable. And again, it does not need to be crazy profitable. It does not need to have 80% win rate. Something like 1, 2, or 3 hours per week on average is already a good system. Okay, even with a small risk, because if you are consistently profitable, then you can scale relatively easy. Then I would recommend as an exercise, try to pass some demo challenges on prop firms like FTMO, City Traders Imperium, my Forex funds, just to understand how they treat capital protection, how they prioritize it, how they have daily limit losses, how they have limit loss overall, and really important a rule for retaining your profits is having a daily limit loss, which could be daily limit loss, which could be represented in daily limit in percentages, for example. So you have a rule that you can't lose more than 1 or 2%. Then you can have your daily limit in amount of losers. So for me, daily limit in losses. So for me, it's 4 trades. So I can't lose 4 trades in one day or more, for example. Of course, you need to understand that having a rule and following it is two completely different things. So keep it in mind as well. And the most important thing, so if you have a question of retaining profits, then maybe it means that you are not profitable. And again, you need to understand, if you're not profitable and you are not changing anything, you are not working on backtesting and so on, you will remain not profitable and lose everything basically. So until that, you need to switch to demo and learn, separate learning and trading, and then go to your live demo account and then practice there. Okay, so this was the question of retaining profits. Of course, it's all connected with the discipline and so on. And next one is even more easy. So how to get brokers that don't charge overnight trading fee. Again, I don't know, about one of our community members suggested to look into Islamic accounts and said that they have this one-time fee, and then they are not charging overnight fee. I don't know. And by the way, pay attention that overnight fees are in most brokers on Wednesday. The swap is much bigger on Wednesday, so keep it in mind. So from Wednesday to Thursday, you can Google to see why it happened so. And then you have a question, why SNDs seem too slow? So why supply and demand zones seem too slow in crypto? Again, this is a really too general question. It might be slow for you, for your system, but okay for someone else. For me particularly, a previous month on crypto, they were a bit weird, to be honest. So sometimes it presented a good price action, but sometimes, as you can see here, so this is for me the essence of previous price action on crypto. Just some really rangy and not clear price action, and then just boom, with no possibilities for re-entries here. So you need to have some kind of maybe a breakout strategy for them, or just backtest what you need. But if you compare this kind of price action, or even this kind, it's much better that we have now, because now we are just, so you see, you have a huge burst, and now many people are trying either to sell it or to buy it for even higher prices. But what it does here is just stuck in a range and liquidated all the weekends for a very long time, like for 2-3 weeks. Then a small burst, again, liquidation. Small burst here, liquidation. So I mean, it may be just a seasonal thing, So again, if your system is not working right now on some crypto markets, one consideration could be just to change your instruments. Again, some zones are pretty nice, like this one. I don't know, maybe something here it just failed. This one, of course, was real nice. It was not so not slow at all, you see. This reaccumulation was okay, but I don't know if you will have entry possibilities here. Everything here is, of course, was really slow, except of maybe this entry point, this one failed, this one liquidated. So, and again, you see, like liquidated, and then several days just a push, and then huge back and forth. So for me, the answer is just it's like that, and so and that's all. Okay. So these were all questions. If you want, you can write something in the chat, or you can just keep it and then see the recording. What else? I will soon share a new public video on this basic course, so I want to finish it really soon to continue working on other things as well. And yeah, so I hope it was useful in some way. If you want to discuss further, you can just answer on the Telegram channel, on the Telegram chat, and basically that's it. Okay. Yeah. So have a good day, everyone. Again, this recording will be posted later, and see you later. Thanks again, team, for sending the book and answering the Queen's, one of the participants, question about the the overnight fee. Okay. Bye, everyone.